Hello, this is John from the Haunt Informer, and I am actually at Haunted Hills Estate Screampark. Very excited. I can't wait to see the entire show tonight. And here I am with Aidan.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. Yeah, we're here at Haunted Hills Estate Screampark, Uniontown, Pennsylvania. My name is Aidan P. Finnegan. I am one of the partners here. I'm also the creative director and the marketing director. In addition to this, I am also the co-owner of Dark Night Halloween Trail, which opens here in Long Island, New York, at the Long Island Community Hospital Amphitheater at Ball Hill. And I also co-own Aurora Interactive, which is a advertising agency specifically for haunted attractions. So through that, we serve about 6 or 7 haunted attractions throughout the nation.
Awesome. So can you tell me the backstory of this particular room? It's very gory.
Well, we're in the house right now. The house is the main storyline that encompasses the whole property and kind of spiderwebs off into different little sub-storylines for each of the attractions. But the house is really the root of all evil, no pun intended. This is where the founder, Edgar Hill, who bought this property as a wedding gift for his wife, Eleanor, lost his wife. She was found dead and levitating in the attic in a cloud of ethereal green smoke on the 13th day of their honeymoon. At that point, he couldn't explain it. He started breathing. He started going crazy and delved into the occult. He found the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. He read from it in an attempt to resurrect her, and that's when everything broke loose. Portal was open to the Netherworld. He passed away in his earthly form, and he now controls all the dark forces on this property in his spiritual form, and all of his servants, as well as any living thing, be it plant, animal, human, was mutated or possessed in some way by the dark forces within. So that's why everything is kind of crazy and falling apart. You can see there's the black evil growing everywhere in this room. This particular room was painted by a myriad of talented artists several years ago, including Kyle Vest, who had been on Skin Wars. We've also had a lot of other different artists here. I can't name them all right now because it would take about 15 minutes, but we also had, say, Ricky Vitus from Face Off, who was here, a good friend of mine, and just so many different people have had their hands in this over the years that it's kind of like this big collaborative art project in a way. Here you see kind of a plague doctor character who's actually the physical manifestation of what Edgar's brother Amadeus was in his earthly form. So you meet his earthly form still walking around up here, and in the basement, right before the finale, you meet his undead spiritual form, which is a very grotesque, deformed, eyeless, really disgusting character. Very energetic too, as you'll meet down there. He really wants to make you one of his masterpieces. But in this room, we have a very nice ghost ride table here. We have all sorts of LED lighting, so many antiques in here, lots of detail. Behind you, right next to that, covered in that corner, we have another piece for from another notable Pittsburgh haunt that you've been to this year. And yeah, just a lot of little Easter eggs in here too. Going through our attractions, I had a lot of Easter eggs in pop culture and different things that have impacted my life and my career in the haunt industry.
Awesome. So I saw this year you have more themes.
Yes. So it's really cool. We expand every year here. Since I got hired on and partnered up with them about 3-4-ish years ago, I kind of forget because when you work here, it feels like you've been a part of the estate since Edgar Hill passed away. It's actually a really haunted property, and I'm not usually someone who believes in hauntings, but the things I've seen here, especially when I lived on the property for a period of time, they're just traumatizing things. But this thing, like a dark force of evil, has just been growing exponentially every single year. We have the house, we have Experiment 31 across the way, and then down in the woods, we've expanded our trails and the walking areas. So there are technically 5 different themes down there. You walk down a hill, which beforehand was just kind of a hill leading down to the burial, but we put some elements in there and we made it into a mine shaft. It's the Pike County Mine Shaft. You're gonna meet some killer bats and some infected miners, infected by this parasite from the bat creature bites. And then you go into the burial, which is, excuse me, cat. As you can hear, we have some haunted cats at Haunted Hills Estate Screampark. And this one is currently climbing the rafters right above me. So again, you never know what you're gonna see here. But we have the burial. The burial is kind of a New Orleans-ish cemetery. We have some above-ground tombs in there. A lot of really cool detailed lighting and stuff like that. Nice atmosphere, fog. Your basic kind of, spooky atmosphere. We don't use a Midnight Syndicate. I have a lot of respect for Ed and Gavin. They are both 2 very good friends of mine, and I respect them immensely. when I was in high school and college, I listened to Midnight Syndicate every single day of my life. But I composed the soundtracks here, and I did something that's actually inspired by Midnight Syndicate for that, keeping with the kind of classic haunted house cemetery theme. After that happens, you go through a church and a new catacomb section this year, with a lot of detailed vacuum form panels and camo netting, and very cool lighting effects in there, fog, atmosphere, and after that point you go into the Dead Woods, which is kind of a change up. Still fits into the woods theme, but you kind of see all the weird stuff that's been growing. You have a colony of witches there called the Bear Witches, and they've been kind of throwing around their dark magic. And sometimes we have a spineless girl down there, which is probably the most gut-wrenching thing that I've seen here, and it's literally just her ability to do that with her body.
That's
we also
crazy.
have some killers such as Ralph walking around down there, some mutated pumpkin creatures. And then after that, you go into Sink Creek. Sink Creek is kind of our hillbilly village, and it looks a lot like some places that are very local here, which is hilarious. It looks like an old trailer park sometimes, and that's exactly the look we're going for. It feels very West Virginia, and you go through and you meet all sorts of crazy, deranged, Hills Have Eyes-esque characters. Some are wearing animal parts. We have a propane cannon that goes off, and all sorts of little surprises. And everything in these woods is really spread out. There's a lot of walking areas that are somewhat considered dead space, but I personally consider it suspense building, and that's why I put it there. It's not that we didn't get to put things there, it's that we intend to have that suspense. You know, you can't have things going in every single room. You can't be constantly bam, 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 because in today's day and age with Netflix, TikTok, just everything kids are seeing on TV and social media, people are so desensitized. You have to let them come down after that, and that's when you can really get them. And then build it back up, of course. So after Sink Creek, you go into Quarantine, which is our uphill corn maze. Some people misread it as quarantine, and I get very angry at that because that completely ruins the fun. Come on, quarantine. I believe it's the world's first uphill corn maze, and it is a really stark contrast to everything else we have going on here, because usually everything else has sound systems and ambient lighting and quite a bit of lighting, animatronics, props, all that. And Quarantine is the most old school thing we have here intentionally. It is minimal. You're walking through the corn and seeing the fog from the midway come up through the trees and the corn stalks, backlit by the ambient light from the midway, and you're just walking through, finding your way through the cornfield, and you don't know what's in there. It's just you, the corn, and what's waiting for you.
So there's tons of awesome things to see at Haunted Hills Estate Screampark. Definitely check it out. The remainder of the haunt season, you can still come to Haunted Hills Estate, and they're open multiple days. Can you say what days you're open?
We're open, today's Sunday, so we are actually open this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're open Halloween, Sunday the 31st. And then that is our last weekend for standard operation, our standard show. November 6th is the return of our very popular Lights Out event, which is a very intense, hands-on, full contact, interactive, almost horror survival experience in some areas. Somewhere between a scavenger hunt, blackout haunt, immersive theater, and an extreme haunt to a degree. Our actors have kept people in these rooms for 3 hours before. That's
Wow.
the history of the event.
Oh my
people
gosh.
have eaten worms, gotten in contact with insects, and the screams are already coming alive. I mean, you can just feel the energy building up. And even on a Sunday, where this place has been its spiritual energy, dark, spooky energy has been beaten out of it on a busy Saturday in late October. But they're chanting. I think they're going to kill you.
Awesome. So that was Aidan with Haunted Hills Estate Screampark.